Have you ever wondered why certain struggles keep repeating your life, almost as if destiny is testing you again and again? What if every loss, every exhaustion, and every false start was not random but a silent reflection of karma at work? And what if the signs that karma is shaping your path are already here, waiting for you to notice and transform them into wisdom? Karma is often misunderstood by many people, often reduced to a kind of mystical punishment or reward system. But the reality, as both philosophy and life experience reveal, is much deeper. It is imagined as a cosmic force that delivers punishment and reward in dramatic moments, a kind of divine accounting system. But true karma is far more subtle, more patient, and far more intimate. It doesn't crash into your life with thunder. It arrives quietly through repetition, discomfort, exhaustion, and the slow unraveling of everything that isn't real. The Stoics understood this reality well, even though they did not use the exact word karma. They didn't speak of karma in mystical terms, but they knew its essence, that every action, every choice, and every belief sets into motion a pattern. And patterns, when left unchecked, become destiny. In a world addicted to appearances, karma reveals what is hidden. In a culture obsessed with speed, it honors the slow truth. And in lives full of noise, karma brings the echo of what we refuse to face. Today, we explore 5 powerful signs that karma is already at work in someone's life, not as punishment, but as a profound invitation. Let this not be a diagnosis of others, but a mirror held up to ourselves. Because what we fail to learn, we are destined to repeat. 1. Repetition of pain, the unlearned lesson. One of the clearest signs that karma is active is not disaster, it's déjà vu. When someone finds themselves facing the same heartbreak, betrayal, burnout, or breakdown again and again, it is rarely coincidence. The Stoics believe that what resists our control demands our attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Repetition is a language of life when growth has stalled. It's how fate teaches those who refuse to listen. That relationship that starts passionate and ends in emotional chaos. It's not about the partner, that job that feels exciting but turns toxic. It's not about the boss. It's about the pattern we bring with us. The unresolved wound we haven't faced. The lesson we keep skipping like a student who never finishes the chapter. For years, I repeated a painful cycle of overcommitting and then burning out. Each time I told myself it would be different. I changed jobs, cities, goals, but nothing truly changed because I didn't. The pattern remained because the wound remained. Karma isn't cruel, it's committed. It will keep handing you the same lesson in a different outfit until you finally sit down and understand the curriculum. It is the soul's teacher and no student graduates by skipping class. The illusion of progress when motion isn't movement. Another sign karma is unfolding in someone's life is the seductive illusion of momentum. This is the person who is always launching something new, a business, a relationship, a transformation. They are in perpetual motion, always beginning, never completing. From the outside, it can look like growth. But Stoic wisdom urges us to examine the quality of our actions, not just the quantity. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Motion without depth is not movement, it's escape. We chase beginnings when we fear what staying will reveal. It takes courage to remain in one place long enough, to build, to wrestle with resistance, to transform character rather than circumstance. Constant change may impress others, but true progress is invisible. It happens in stillness, in repetition, in the discipline of showing up long after the applause has faded. I lived this illusion. I thought I was evolving because I was always busy, but in truth, I was addicted to reinvention. I feared stagnation, not realizing I was stagnating in disguise. Karma didn't punish me. It patiently waited while my life grew more cluttered with unfinished ideas, half-built bridges, and 1,000 shallow starts. Eventually, the exhaustion became louder than the excitement. That's when I realized growth doesn't come from running, it comes from rooting. And karma always brings us back to the place we abandoned. 3. A polished on the surface but feels turbulent underneath. This is a curated persona, the one who looks peaceful, successful, enlightened but is quietly unraveling. Stoicism reminds us that virtue, not visibility, is the measure of a life well lived. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do." Image management is seductive. It offers validation without vulnerability, applause without authenticity, but karma doesn't care how well you perform peace. It cares whether you embody it. When someone obsesses over their aesthetic, their brand, their narrative, while their private life is unraveling, karma doesn't intervene dramatically. It allows the illusion to continue until it becomes unbearable. I know because I lived there. There was a season where my outward life looked intentional and curated. People praised my clarity, my inspiration, but inside, I was fractured. I was overworked, emotionally disconnected, and spiritually numb. I was performing stillness while drowning in unrest. Eventually, the weight of the performance broke me, not publicly, but internally. And that collapse became the turning point. Karma didn't destroy my image. It revealed my disconnection from it. The real work began when I stopped trying to impress and started trying to integrate. 4. Loss that feels familiar. The soul's hidden saboteur. Karma often arrives not with punishment, but with loss that repeats. And what makes it so painful isn't just that we lose, it's that the loss feels eerily familiar. Good things slip through our hands. Love, success, friendships, inner peace. We blame the world. But if the pain has a pattern, we must consider this hard truth. We may be the one making it feel safer to lose than to receive. Stoic thought teaches that character is fate. If your beliefs, emotions, and actions are misaligned, the results of your life will reflect that misalignment. And many people, without knowing it, have trained their nervous systems to feel more comfortable in chaos than in calm. If love was conditional in childhood, unconditional love feels threatening. If worth earned through performance, rest feels dangerous. Karma reveals this not through punishment, but through exposure. I had to face this when, in a season of abundance, I began to sabotage everything good. Not intentionally, but slowly, with overthinking, avoidance, perfectionism. The fear wasn't failure. The fear was having. Because having required me to change, to mature, to expand beyond the version of me that was built for survival. Karma took nothing from me. It simply stopped me from keeping what I hadn't yet become ready to hold. It was an invitation to become someone whose inner world could sustain what their outer world has started to attract. 5. Emotional exhaustion when the soul can no longer pretend. The final and perhaps most revealing sign that karma is active is soul deep exhaustion. Not from work or responsibilities, but from pretending. When someone is emotionally drained, even when their life appears full, karma is quietly doing its work. It is unraveling the false self. The Stoics believe that inner peace comes from alignment with nature, with truth, with virtue. Living outside of that alignment is not only unwise, it is unsustainable. Pretending is the most exhausting labor there. Island pretending to be healed, pretending to be happy, pretending to have answers, and eventually the spirit collapses under the weight of inauthenticity. This is karma's most merciful move. It lets the mask grow too heavy to wear. It doesn't expose you to the world. It exposes you to yourself. I remember the night I finally broke. Not because something went wrong, but because everything looked right and still felt wrong. I had achieved the goals. I had checked the boxes. But inside, I was numb. That emptiness wasn't failure. It was karma's whisper. You've built a life around who you think you should be. Now build one around who you are. It was a soul invitation to surrender the illusion and return to essence. And the moment I began that journey, the exhaustion began to lift. Conclusion: karma isn't watching, it's reflecting. Karma is not a divine punishment. It is a mirror. It doesn't crash into your world to hurt you. It appears gently, persistently. In every repeated emotion, in every collapsed effort, in every relationship that reopens an old wound, karma doesn't demand vengeance. It demands truth. And the Stoics knew that truth is the beginning of all healing. We attract what reflects us. We lose what we are not prepared to maintain. We chase appearances when we have abandoned essence. But the moment we become willing to see clearly, karma changes from punishment to preparation, from reaction to revelation, from resistance to rebirth. Ask yourself, where am I seeing patterns? What feels heavy? What am I pretending not to know? Because the moment you answer honestly, karma no longer needs to keep teaching the same lesson. You graduate from the cycle, not by defeating karma, but by finally understanding it. And in that understanding, you begin to live not from reaction, but from wisdom. That is the Stoic path. That is the karmic invitation. That is your freedom.